We are interrupting programming to bring you another special report. The jury has decided a sentence after finding Aaron Lewis guilty of capital murder and kidnapping in the death of realtor Beverly Carter. Aaron Lewis has been sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. And what they have been deciding is the kidnapping charge, what will be tagged on the back of that. So we want to go now to Alicia Dover. She has been waiting outside the courtroom for family to come out. Alicia.
Well, that's right. And what was tacked on to the charges is life. So he is serving life without the possibility of parole. And then in addition to that, the life sentence for kidnapping. And those two run together, not together. I'm sorry. Those are consecutive sentences, meaning they would not be served concurrent. So again, his sentence is life without parole for the capital murder charge and then life in prison for kidnapping. Now we're just waiting, standing by for families, the families to come out right now. And, you know, just a reminder of this case, you know, the prosecution bringing forward the story and the narrative to this jury that Crystal Lowry, Aaron Lewis's wife, and Aaron Lewis conspired together to kidnap Beverly Carter. They targeted her because she was a realtor who worked alone and were hoping that she had money for ransom. They tried to make sure that it was someone who had a husband so that they could pay ransom, specifically searching her out online and targeting her for kidnapping. And once they discovered that she did not have money in her bank account, testimony said she only had $130 in her bank account at the time that she was kidnapped. That is when they killed her. And of course, the details of that killing, something that the jury had to hear as well, and something that they had to see pictures of. And, you know, the killing, as you guys probably have already heard from our reporting, was by duct tape across Beverly Carter's face and by suffocation. And the jury had to hear all of those details. We do believe the prosecutor, that's John Johnson, just coming out now, and of course celebrating their victory and waiting for family to come out. You can see inside the and we're just waiting for family. We're standing by, but again, guys, the prosecutor celebrating their victory as they're celebrating their victory today. And we do hope to hear from family. Right now, they're just inside kind of talking. And actually, we're going to move down this way and talk to the prosecutor. He is about to give a statement. If you'll just come along with me.
All right,
sorry, guys, it's live television.
Not organized in that way. It's hard for them to know, and she started it out letting them know exactly what they were going to do, and our witnesses did what Barbara told them we were going to do.
Was it a win for you guys to have Aaron Lewis testify for himself?
I don't think he helped himself, so I guess the jury's the ultimate decision maker on that point, so I don't know that it was a win, but again, I don't know that he helped himself by testifying.
Obviously, it's something emotional for the families, but you guys get to really know the families. I saw them embrace you afterwards. In particular, Barbara, it's got to be emotional for you, too, knowing them so well and what you're doing for them.
First of all, let me tell you, they're a fantastic family, and I honestly say that. They're wonderful to work with, and it's hard not to get close to them. I mean, if you want to get to know Beverly, you have to get to know her family. And so that makes it difficult. But in the end, justice is served. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Pulaski County, honestly.
Why did the state not seek the death penalty?
Well, that's a difficult decision. It's a personal decision with the family, and so it was just what was deemed best for them and for the case.
On a personal note, do you feel like there's any sentence that Lewis could receive that owns up to the last few moments of what Beverly went through?
You can never punish someone harshly enough. Death penalty, life in prison without parole, never evens the score for Beverly or for any of the other victims that unfortunately we have to advocate for.
I mean, while he's spending the rest of his life behind bars, her family is spending the rest of their life without her. I mean, is that how you would look at that?
That's how I look at it. They're a strong family, and they're going to continue on. But as Carl Jr. said, that's a hole that can't be fixed.
Were you surprised that the jury deliberated for less than an hour?
It's a losing proposition to bet on juries. You got a better chance of winning the lottery than to try and guess what a jury's going to do. So they do what they do, and we appreciate their deliberation.
That little time, though, does that speak to you of how strong your case was and the lack of doubt?
I mean, I will say that given the length of the trial and the amount of testimony that they heard, that they reached their decision. I don't think it was too quickly. I don't think that they took their job lightly, but it was good for the family that they didn't have to wait longer than what they did.
Mr. Johnson, we're live on Channel 7. For those who weren't able to see the reaction in the courtroom, what was your reaction to this guilty verdict, and what was the family's reaction?
Well, I know the family was happy. I mean, they were wanting for him to be held accountable for what they did. You think about what they've endured with what sort of information he has put out there about Miss Carter, about their mom and their wife, and they've been so classy throughout this entire process, not attacking him. So I'm so happy that they got to hear the verdict.
Some cases you don't see the victim kind of, I guess, in the way you put it, kind of drug through the mud like this. Have you ever seen a worse case, or have you ever seen it this bad?
You hate to compare cases, and certainly for victims' families, it is all personal, and it's bad for everybody. But I will say that the way this defendant went about trashing his victim was as horrible as you could imagine. I don't know that it was worse than something else, but it was horrible.
And do you think that her name has been vindicated now in the end?
I don't think that there was any need to vindicate her. I don't think that you have someone like Miss Carter who's represented by her family and her friends, and you can't tarnish her reputation like that. You can throw whatever mud you want to at her like he did, and nothing stuck. So it wasn't us vindicating her. She stood strong on her own.
Mr. Johnson, any doubt that you have the right person in custody now serving life?
No doubt at all. No, not any doubt from the very beginning.
Thank you guys so much.
All right. Okay, and that you just heard from the prosecutor, of course, celebrating a huge victory here. We do have family over here in the hallway, and we're going to try to speak with Carl Carter Jr. here.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's been tough moving forward so far, just because she was our matriarch. She was everything. Everything was built around her, and now Kim gets to be the matriarch of the family.
Shoes are not filled.
And she's amazing, and we're so happy that justice has been served.
Yes. Finally.
Carl, what was, for those who weren't in the courtroom, we're live on Channel 7, what was the reaction from the family?
I think the tears, we're not allowed to obviously speak in there, but you could just hear the sniffs and the tears. So I think everyone in there, their hearts were lifted in the fact that justice was served.
We've been wearing these chains for 16 months, and they just fell off. And I think that my mom's at better peace now, if that makes any sense. There's so much said about her, lies, and now, we can just continue to spread her wonderful legacy and make it known that she's just a wonderful person.
What do you want everyone to remember about her?
Well, I was so thankful to be able to take the stand and tell everybody how amazing she was. But it's that, to love and to be resilient and against all odds fight. And if it's not an Aaron Lewis in your life, whatever it is, just fight and fight for your happiness and love the people that you're with.
Carl, is there any sentence that Aaron Lewis could serve that would really make up for what he's been convicted of doing to your mother?
No, of course not. But it is comforting to know that he is in a place now where he can't do any harm to precious people like my mom again.
Anything you're going to do to make sure your mom's reputation never gets stuck with the defense's story?
Well, I have had a lot of great opportunities to do a lot of traveling to raise safety awareness, and it's a great platform for me. I always kind of slide in how wonderful and how beautiful, and talk about all the things that she loved, like we all do. And I think it's a great platform just to keep her alive to all of us, because she truly was a gem, and I love sharing memories of her.
Our mission all along has been to never remember Aaron Lewis. You always remember Beverly Carter, and we'd like to keep that going.
As awful as what your mother experienced was, I mean, it has...
Beth, you're hearing from the family here reacting immediately after this guilty conviction and life sentence for Aaron Lewis. We will, of course, have the very latest coming up at 5 o'clock. And for now, we're going to go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Alicia, we appreciate your reporting this week and today especially. Thank you. Just to reiterate, Aaron Lewis found guilty. He will spend life in prison without the possibility of parole, with an extra life sentence tacked on to the back of that for the kidnapping conviction. We'll have the very latest coming up today at 5 and 6 o'clock.